Hello, literature lovers. Today, the work which I want to discuss is a modest proposal by Jonathan Swift for presenting the children of poor people in Ireland for being a burden on their parents or country and making them beneficial to the public. It's a very harsh form of satire and it's really chilling, and Jonathan Swift is very famous for it. And when I first read it, it's really get the scares part of yours. And talking about the complete title itself is quite ironical. It is not at all a modest proposal. Trust me, if you have no idea about this work, then you'll be surprised to hear this. I'm talking about the historical background that firstly we must understand that Ireland was under British rule since 1171, and since Ireland is Irish Catholic and their culture is a bit different from England, the mainland, since it is Irish minority is Protestant, so in England, so it is quite a controversial thing. There is a clash between Catholics and Protestants, and Swift, as he belonged to that Ireland, so he is quite connected to them. That is the reason why he wrote this work. And Ireland later on gained independence, and there was a clash between them. In fact, Jonathan Swift was also considered one of the spy who fought for the Ireland's independence, and there are different political and economical and social changes which took place while this work was there. And Jonathan Swift, in fact, was part of it, turmoil, and how that Ireland's rule was changed. And because of this independence fight, Ireland lived in poverty and disease and starvation. So, all this is part of that. So here the historical portion is very important because without it you cannot understand any part of this work by Jonathan Swift's. And so it is important how the Irishman, and talking about the biography of Jonathan Swift himself, he, as I told you, he was born in Dublin and he is also a Protestant, so he can really relate to all these things. And talking about his works is one of my favorite, and he's so good at satire. But Gulliver Travel is not that harsh. This one is. So you should keep it in mind. And talking about some of the pamphlets that were made by him and that recognize his style 100%. And this is a very harsh photograph and you can feel it. And the modest proposal is a call attending to abuses inflicting on Irish Catholics. So it is really a sharp satire, and if you get a chance to read it, and it is a satire on the English landlords who were exploiting for food the Irish people and violating their independence. And that is through that proposal he tried to talk about the rights of Ireland and how they talk about the Catholics and Protestants. All this is very important in that context. So, finally, we can understand that this essay really summarizes and abuses the stoic people of England and how they used Irish people for their benefit. And this satire is really an eye opener for, and it is a universal approach. It's not like we can only put it on this historical platform. That is the reason this satire and this book is really read all over the world, and it is prescribed in so many universities. And I'm sure when you read it, you will get really involved in this book, and it is one of the greatest one I have ever read. So I hope you will get an overview by this. Thanks for being part of it. Thank you.